Nick, you did the iPhone 5S, you did the iPhone 5, how long will it last? But I got an iPhone SE and I want to know how long the iPhone SE will last. Well, let's find out right now. Let's go. So, what is up, guys? Nick here from Everything Tech. How long will the iPhone SE last? I'm not sure if you could see that, but this is an iPhone SE right here. And, you know, I did one on the iPhone 5S a couple of days ago, and I did one on the iPhone 5 just yesterday. But today, you know, we're going to talk about the A9 little beast boy. So the iPhone 5S is an incredible device back in 2013, and it's held on for a very long time, and it's still going pretty strong. But Apple in 2016 announced the iPhone SE, which I'm sure most of you are aware of. If you're not aware of it, it is the most powerful small iPhone on the market, and it brings the power of a more premium iPhone into the hands of most users. My experience with the iPhone SE has been incredible. It's incredibly fast, incredible battery life, and I have 2 battery tests which I went around the whole entire city of Chicago and tested this battery in the real world. I will leave both of those videos down below in the description so you can go check those out. But with that being said, you know, how long will this baby last? We're talking an A9 CPU. So the A9 CPU, if you were to look at it on a chart or a graph going upwards, the performance leap from the A7, on the 5S to the SE, which is I think a lot of people are going to come from, the iPhone 5S to the iPhone SE. It would be like this. So here's the 5S and here's the SE. Like, it's like that much of a jump. So like, here's the 5S and boom, here's the SE in terms of performance. That's how much of a difference you're going to get here in the SE. But to answer the question specifically for this video, how long will it last? Well, based on the previous, iPhones, I would say that probably the slowest and most unusable iPhone, and it just became more unusable. And some might disagree, but in my experience has been the iPhone 4S. That thing is just incredibly slow, and I actually got one of those as well. And let me know if you want to see how long this one will last. It probably won't do it because I said this phone was dead on the channel. But the iPhone 4S is probably the most unusable phone from Apple right now. And that phone came out in the year of 2011. So I think it was 2011. Yeah, 2011 maybe on the 4S. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that lasted till about, you could still use it today, but it's incredibly slow. And I did see someone outside using the iPhone 4S, but very slow now. So, and that one kind of kicked out, I'd say about 2 years ago, around 2014, 2013. The 4S was getting pretty bad in performance. So with that being said, I would say the iPhone SE, we're looking at about 2021, 2022 before this guy is kind of unusably slow. And but there's a big difference here with the older devices and the newer devices. So the older devices like an iPhone, not a 5S, but an iPhone 5 and the iPhone 4S is that they were using 32-bit architecture. If you don't understand what that is, it's basically, the processing power. I'm not gonna get into the technicals, nobody cares. Basically, it's the processing power, and it was basically doubled here to 64-bit here in the the iPhone SE. There's 32-bit PCs as well as 64-bit PCs, and the difference in performance is just massive. So with that being said, this is on a much more PC level performance or Mac level performance in terms of I'm not gonna say quite a computer, so don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's better than a computer, but that same architecture is being built in this phone. So this might actually last much longer than the 4S. So I'm gonna say give this one about 6 years. I think about 2022, 2023, this one will be kind of unusably slow. Now there's a big thing that goes around, people saying the iPhones, they always slow down as Apple goes about their business creating the new iOS versions. The iPhones get slow. They purposely do this. They just get so slow. And like people say that, but I don't really experience that too much. Now I did experience it with the 4S, but I think that was more due to the fact that the features that were brought in the newer iOS versions were just the iPhone 4S could just not handle them. So, you know, when we're talking about the SE, this thing has been a massive increase in performance, and that's what makes me think that this one might go 6 to 7 years in terms of the length of use. Now, obviously, Apple is not going to tell you this. They're not going to tell you keep a phone that long. They want you to keep upgrading, and I would say keep upgrading if you can. But if you're the type of person who's like, I don't care about phones like that, I just want a nice, really nice phone, I want it to last a very long time, the iPhone SE is going to do just that. The only thing about the SE that I do not like is, yes, it's got a timeless design, a classic design, but psychologically, like in your mind, you know that you have the older device. Now, if you don't have an innovative thinking style, so you don't think like, oh, cutting edge, I gotta have the greatest and latest thing, then you probably don't give a crap about that. But, you know, I would know in my mind, like, that design is kind of, even though it's sexy, it's a sexy looking design, I would still know that this design is becoming dated here on the SE, just because it's very similar to the same phone that they built like 5 years ago. So that's the only downfall to the SE to me. I wish they would have made this look more like the iPhone 6 when they dropped it, like the 6S, just a smaller 6S body. That would have been really neat. Maybe if people keep loving this baby device and keep buying it, Apple will make another mini smartphone with like an iPhone 7 design, or a, you know, like an iPhone 8, the upcoming Edge design. That would be really sick. What do you guys think about seeing an edge-to-edge design on a smaller iPhone? Comment that down below. But in terms of the iPhone SE, it's, you know, it's got 2 gigs of RAM, and on the Android side of things, you might be like, that's just, no. That's just, we've had 2 gig of RAMs, we've had 2 gig of RAMs for years. Like, and you're just now getting that. But you gotta remember, the optimization, Apple controls the hardware and the software here for Apple devices. So this device actually, in reality, feels like a device with 4 gigs of RAM on the Android side. So that's basically how you should look at it. 2 gigs of RAM here, technically, but in real world use, more like a 4 gigabyte of RAM phone, up there with like the OnePlus 3T, and well, that's got 6 gigs of RAM, but up there with like the Note 5, the Samsung Galaxy S7, those devices of the world. It's up there with those babies. And in terms of battery life, the iPhone SE, I think I talked about this a little bit, but great battery life. The cameras on here, the cameras will go the distance, and I say that for one reason. You know, 12 megapixel cameras, these have 4K video recording. 4K is not even being streamed on most YouTube videos yet. There's a good chance that your phone does not even stream 4K right now. So you're very future-proofed with the camera here on the iPhone SE. And updates, expect updates to iOS 15, if they even call it that in the future here. Fingerprint scanner, we're rocking out with a first generation Touch ID, and this does support Apple Pay, so we even have Apple Pay, so you're gonna be able to pay things for a very long time here on the SE. But this video is getting a little bit long. How long will it last? I think I answered that question for you in this video. 6 more years in my estimation. What is your estimation? How long do you think the iPhone SE will last? Remember, this video is not giving you, you know, this is not facts. This is my personal experience with iPhones, what I observed over my lifetime of using iPhones and how they've slowed down. And I'm making an estimation based on the use that I've had with previous iPhones in the past. So I think that was upside down. So let me know what you guys think down below. And if you guys want to see how long will the iPhone 5 last, and how long will the iPhone 5S last, I'll leave those links down below. Those are also up on the channel as well. And any other how long will this phone last video you want to see, leave that in the comments as well. So I got a few questions for you there. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please go ahead and click the like button for me. Subscribe to the channel for more technology videos like this. This was Nick here, helping you master your technology. Be sure to be well. I will catch you all in the next one, and peace. On a 4-inch screen, your thumb can go from here to here to here to here. Who remembers that one?